Hey guys, welcome back to 5150. Today in this episode we're going to be installing the TNT Customs. These are their Guardian Rock Sliders. These are built out of 3/16 steel. They are complete boat side. So what that means, it comes down the side of the body, comes down to a 45 and ties underneath into the frame. The benefit of that, you got a nice pivot point. So this should be a fairly easy install. We'll see how long this takes us. So let me show you over here what we have for our tools. We're going to need our instructions. You get these off their website. We're going to need a drill. We're going to need to have a couple drill bits. We're going to use a 1/4" drill for a pilot hole, then a 3/8 drill bits to install the side bolts in. In this, we'll also need our little impact hammer. We'll have a 3/4" socket, 5/8, and a 9/16. We'll also be using a 7/32 Allen for our button heads. Over here, we have our center punch. It's basically goes in the hole. There's like this little nipple or tit on the end, goes in the hole, lines up like that. We tap the end of it, gives us a nice center hole. Should be super easy, so let's go ahead and get this project started.
The first thing we need to do is remove the old body mount bolts. So we installed these brackets. So we installed these brackets a couple weeks ago in our last video for the rock sliders. So easy enough. We're just going to remove those, and we have new hardware that we'll be using that came with the rock sliders. Alright, so we've already tightened up the 3 body mounts. So the next thing we're going to do is tighten up the slider up against the body. So we're just going to use a block of wood with the jack to snug that up. Then we'll go ahead and mark the holes, and then we'll drill them and install the button heads. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and use the center punch. Mark all these. So that will put the nice little indentation nipple in there.
Number 1 roll before you drill a hole.
Say what?
It's the number 1 roll before you drill a hole.
Measure twice.
Nope.
What's the number 1 rule?
What is it?
I don't know.
You taught me it. You should know it.
Put a power hole in first?
No.
What?
Look behind it.
Yeah. Number 1 rule is look behind it, make sure there's no wires.
And there's a harness
batteries.
that runs right here.
Yep. Okay.
So you just got to make sure you're going to miss it or hold it up when you drill it.
As Patrick mentioned, there is a wiring harness back there. So we want to go ahead and when we drill this, to make sure we just kind of lift it up out of the way. We're going to go ahead and use our 1/4" bit. Patrick's just making sure there's nothing behind there. Good thing there's nothing behind there. Now those two want to go real far in to go through the double thing.
When we do these ones, when we do those two, we're going to have to get a roll along a bit.
Good thing it's like a Pepsi can.
I just made Ryan cringe. There's a double shoe. Well, they took a lot of structure out of that.
So there's our first round of holes. Like I said, guys, this should be super easy. All right, now Patrick's gonna go ahead and chase those with a 3/8 inch. So there's 3/8 holes drilled. So is it these two here, Patrick? Yep. So these two holes here that are underneath the Jeep emblem, it's doubled walled. So you notice that Patrick had to go in much further, so we had to go through the outer wall and the inner wall. So in the inner wall, we're going to take a bigger drill bit to put a bigger hole in it. That way we can get the nut through. Alright guys, so these are the 3/8 button heads. So there's a total of 18, 9 on each side. 7 of them will use the nylon nut like this. The ones that have the built-in lock washer, these nuts, there's 4 of them. There's 2 on each side. They go underneath the Jeep emblem, and then they will get washers. So it's pretty easy. Patrick's going to use a step bit. So under the Jeep emblem inside the Jeep, on that double wall, he's just going to make that hole bigger. That way we can go in there with a socket and with the nut to get to the back side of this one of these bolts. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and use the step bit. We're going to go ahead and drill the hole that's bigger to put the socket and the nut through. So go ahead and do that, Patrick. And that's pretty much it. We just kind of rimmed them out a little bit. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to fish in that nut with the lock washer on it. You can see how we made that hole bigger with the step bit to get the socket inside that inner wall, or you can use a 1-inch drill bit. And this one can have done on both sides, Patrick? Yep. These will get torqued down to 30 foot-pounds when we're done. Alright guys. Alright, that pretty much the install on these. TNT's done a great job. They fit perfect. Super easy install. We will be removing these. We're going to be painting the armor the same color as the Jeep. So our next video will be doing the rear armor. Alright guys, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. It's pretty basic. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.